I would.
Okay. It could be that we've already done 20 minutes of class. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Did you hear the camera go deep doop or anything like that a minute ago?
Did it interrupt your note writing so you could tell?
No.
Cool.
So guys, here we go. In Hawaii, as Tess said, she said there was a weak spot. Is that what you said? A weak spot in what part of the crust? What do you say? Say it again. What do you say? In the lithosphere. That's the part of the crust that we walk on. It is the crust and the upper mantle. It's solid. It's rock. Now if it breaks apart, magma from the lower mantle can ooze up, right? And the lower mantle is called starts with an AS. What type of sphere? Asthenosphere, right? Everybody say asthenosphere? Asthenosphere. Now remember that that's correct because on the test tomorrow they spelled it wrong. They forgot the S. Asthenosphere. It's not asthenosphere. It's ATH. They put asthenosphere. I think they're lisping. Jesus might have made that. I don't know. But anyway, it says asthenosphere instead of asthenosphere. So anyway, so don't freak out when you see the test because it's going to be wrong. But we'll point it out to you tomorrow because, you know, I know how you, well, I'm expecting Clay Camp to have a, meltdown. So, but it's not spelled right. I can't, Clay Camp. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to show you a model of what's happening to create the Hawaiian volcanoes. It's not actually a weak spot in the lithosphere. It's a thin spot. So there's a thin spot in the crust where the asthenosphere has been able to pop through, and boy, Winkers would probably absolutely love if this was really zits, right? Because you know how she likes zits. Ooh. This is a great place because these volcanoes are erupting from the sea floor and building till they break the surface of the water, and they're making islands. And it's not a divergent boundary, it's not a convergent boundary, but they call it a hot spot. So these are called hot spot volcanoes because it's just melting right through the lithosphere at a thin area in the lithosphere, a weak spot, however you want to talk about it. It's a weak spot, a thin spot is popping through. So what I did was I found some old candles back in one of those cabinets, and I melted them down on my candle warming device, and I poured them in these little cake trays. You see my little wax here? Poured them in the cake trays and let them harden again. So this was a red candle, now it looks pink. It was a red candle, and it's really creepy because when it solidified, it looks creepy like skin. It didn't solidify. Can y'all see the wrinkles?
I can.
It's weird, right? Do me a favor. Randall, you'll go fast. Take this and carry it around and show everybody the wrinkles. Just whip quickly through it. Every other piece of wax I brought a bunch of candles from my house that I used at Christmas. Demetrius, look, don't talk. At home during Christmas, I burned those candles to make the house smell like a Christmas tree. And all my leftover, hollowed out kind of wax thingies. All my leftover wax thingies left over that, you really can't burn anymore because it's almost down to the bottom. I just brought all those pieces of parts, crunched them up, and I melted it in my wax burner. The green wax from those candles not only did it smell pretty good, it worked really great making these hotspot volcanoes. Then I bought some Scentsy that was really dark red because I wanted it to look like lava, right? It worked okay, but it has a lower melting point. Make sense? So we couldn't get it to do exactly what we wanted to do. This wax happens to, well, the first two of these that I did works awesome. We'll see if it works for you guys. Who knows? Once it works really good, it probably isn't going to work good again for the rest of the day. So this wax is what I'm going to use as my model for the asthenosphere. It's not hot right now because there's no core of the earth to heat it. Make sense? I'm going to use my little portable camping stove. It's called a what do they call it? Sterno. It's a little sterno can with fuel inside, and that's a wick. It's my little portable camping stove. Looks like this when I put the thing on there. I'll light it on fire, and then I'm going to put this on top to melt the wax to make our asthenosphere. Just a second. To make our asthenosphere. But on top of the asthenosphere, what do we have?
Water.
Careful. There's not water on top of molten magma.
Dirt.
Rock.
And what do we call that sphere?
Lithosphere.
Thank you. Boy, you people better kick your science brains in. Rock. Dirt. That's first grade answers. Come on, y'all. So on the asthenosphere is the lithosphere. This is the plate that's going to be able to move, okay? I'm modeling by using regular sand because the wax pops through sand a little easier than it would concrete. So I'm going to put sand in here to model the lithosphere. Now, it's not a perfect model, is it? Is any model perfect?
No.
No, not even those girls who think they look so good doing the Victoria's Secret stuff, right? Even they probably have a flaw. It's hard to find, but they don't. Now I'm going to put some ocean in there. Okay? So here's my ocean. It's just tap water. And we're going to have a little bit of floaters come on here. For some reason, the sand has a really weird tension, and it doesn't like to all stay under there. So I'm just going to try to make it go under there. And then, there we go. Evaporation's a beautiful thing. So, I forgot to light the burner. That's stupid. Here we go. Careful. Gotta get my core going. Here's my match. I love this match. Fire!
Can I borrow that?
And now I'm not going to burn my finger like I did on Saturday multiple times because I don't have to tip it sideways and get my hand in the fire. So now I have a fire going. If I turn off the lights, my video won't work. Wait a second. Check and see if it works on the screen if I turn off the lights. Oh, that's not so bad. Just make sure the screen is what's being shown. They can still hear you.
I can
All
see
right,
it.
so now I've got the core of the earth heating up my asthenosphere, and it's going to take a while. So in your notes, you need to construct a diagram of the pie pan, the wax. What are you going to label the wax?
The lithosphere. Mantle.
Asthenosphere. Ah.
Wait, you supposed to draw?
I know it's really small, but can you see my asthenosphere? A-S-T-H-E-N.
I wrote it again. Ooh, that was complicated. And the sand.
The sand is modeling what?
Lithosphere.
The lithosphere, and that's L-I-T-H-O sphere.
The ocean, bro.
And the water's the ocean, yeah. So as the heat underneath starts to melt the wax, then what happens to the particles of the wax? When you heat anything up, what do the particles do? They move faster, and then they what? Spread apart, and then they do what? Not exactly. This is a liquid. Gases go everywhere. What do hot things do? They rise up. Because after you heat them up and they spread apart, that decreases their density and causes them to be lighter, and they become floaters instead of sinkers, right? That hard solidified wax is a sinker, and I'm creating floaters from it, and it's gonna come through right in the middle. Hopefully, it might be on the side or the edge. If you blink, you might miss it, but poof, we're gonna have a volcano in a second. That's gonna just pop through the lithosphere. Is that right? That's the kind of this Miss Winkers likes a lot, right?
Why did you poke a hole in the middle of it?
I didn't put a hole anywhere. I just put the wax in there. Now Saturday we were having to drill a hole in the wax because the evergreen candles I bought, and we didn't put a hole in there. It came over the edge. It came out the edge because that was the path of least resistance. And then once it did burn through the middle, it would suck back in from the edges and come up the top. We actually had it flowing like a fountain for a little bit on Saturday with some of them. It was really kind of cool. It's actually still building. In the last class, it built so high that it pushed that little ledge of wax up out of the water, and then it burped wax underneath the side, and it all came back in again. So we actually got lift and then depression again. It was pretty cool. Very fun to watch.
Cool.
And are you noticing, I don't know if you're noticing, right here, some of that sand that didn't sink, it keeps getting pushed to the side over here. I can make it flip back over there towards the middle. The water itself is getting warmer. Do you see how those pieces of sand are actually getting pushed to the edges? The water's even creating its own convection current, heat rising, cool sinking, and it's stirring itself as the water gets hotter and hotter and hotter. I don't know if I can, I wish this thing came down. And this, not too bad yet. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Be careful, be careful, be careful. I want you to see on the edge, you kind of see the, okay, I'm gonna dump some of the water out. Oh, I poured wax. Can you sort of see that?
Oh gosh.
What did I do?
It moved it.
Can you see where the volcano came from the sand up and it's like a little bulge there? Y'all ain't here to stop being gross, you're on video. Do you see where it's kind of built up? So the volcano is starting from the bottom, building, 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 building. I don't know how much we can get going. Oh, hey, here's part of the volcano. I poured it out in the water and it solidified like a root. That's pretty creepy. It almost looks like an L. Okay, it's pretty creepier than that.
Do you want me to try and zoom in on the screen at all?
Try. Oh yeah, it's immediately melting again and filling in its own little caved-in depression here.
I can't turn your thingy. Stop, stop, stop! One. How can you make the camera go up and down? It doesn't go up
The
and down.
camera itself, twist the handlebar, Dilly.
The handlebar? Or the
It's
knob?
Trying to direction the camera like this.
Yes.
Yeah, see there's a handle that's almost touching you in the belly. Twist it. And loosen it.
Ah! There's a
Like
black
that.
spot on it. All right
That
there.
right there, that bowl that I had made accidentally, it's fixing to overflow right over here on this side. Oops, maybe it's going to overflow over here. You see how it's doing? That's better. The wax is actually, some of the water has gotten down in with the wax and it's sizzling. Can you hear it in the pan?
Yeah. That's Gallenberger.
Uh-huh.
You know what we usually use those little fire ones for?
For?
To keep to keep the food like warm during parties.
Absolutely. Yeah, at a party.
Yeah.
They're for, buffet trays and stuff. Absolutely, the sternos. I get them at Sam's. They're cheaper when you buy them in bulk. I got this one, this little stove setup though, at Barker Depot years ago.
Something, it's coming up again. If you look in the bottom right corner, it looks like it's moving.
Over on this side.
Yeah, someone's head's in the way, but I can't tell whose.
Ooh, it just bubbled. It just burped.
Make sure you're
Nope, I think it's Kylie's.
We might actually be running out of wax.
good.
So, please
Yeah.
write down what you just saw, and what I'm going to do is create another one. We're going to start from scratch. So your picture should have the pan, and then are you showing it like a cutaway view?
Me?
Your diagram in your journal. You've got like a pan, and then you've got the wax right here, and that's the asthenosphere, right? And then you got the dirt right here, and that's the lithosphere, and then you got water. Okay?
What do you do that?
You need to.
Okay.
Is it making another? Oh, did it burp up somewhere else? Oh, it's spreading across.
It looks like a little like.
So I made it carefully with my little salad tongs because I did this before and it wasn't too hot, but now it is. The water is getting quite toasty. I better put it on this side.
Miss Gallenberger.
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to start a new roll of film?
It's digital, but yeah, you can stop it and start it again.
didn't mean to roll of film.
No, I understand. So I have another one. It's still kind of. Oh, that would be gooder. It would be gooder if I just zoomed in. See the wrinkles? And I'm not sure because, I hypothesize and I guess all the time because I'm a scientist. And I'm like, okay, so I wonder if it's where those wrinkles are that causes where the wax is going to come up. If it happens to be something like this. Because the other wax I used was a clean, like glass. When it solidified, it real soft, real flat on top. These wrinkles are fresh from this gross candle that I'm recycling today. How about recycling?
How do I stop and start?
Push the, where you take a picture button?
Mhm.
Push it and it should stop.